Good morning. Welcome to the Canadian High School Ultimate Championships. We just had the conclusion of an extremely long point, ran a few minutes overtime. My name is Andrew Portwine. Thanks for joining this morning. The game coming up, we will have Innisdale from Ontario versus Westwood from Manitoba. Both teams just finished up some hard-fought games. Innisdale had to play a little extra time to get past Marshall McLuhan, so we're a few minutes late starting here. It was a hard-fought win. The last point was 8 or 10 minutes long, so hopefully these kids can get a few minutes to rest here. Get right back out on the field. So Westwood from Manitoba making a nice run up the leaderboard here. Had a nice tournament so far. They've had a top 5 finish in the last 4 years, I believe it's been, for their national appearances, so fairly strong program. Matching up here with Innisdale, who won the 2014 national championship when it was hosted in Montreal, so a couple of great programs meeting up here early in the day. For those of you that are interested in our future games, we do have a game at 1 o'clock, which would be the bronze medal match, and 2:30 will be the gold medal match, so we'll hopefully see you later on, tuned in for those. For those that watched yesterday, we had some very strong winds. This morning it's mildly better, but very cold, wind chill of about 1 degree below zero this morning when we started. Afternoon winds are expected to pick up, so we could have some entertaining action for the bronze medal and gold medal games later in the day. Right now the wind is fairly manageable. Both teams were moving the disc fairly well in the last games just before we got on the air, so we should see some fairly good play, some good fundamental play. The wind picks up a little bit, we may see the coaches go to the punt and pin strategy. I know Marshall McLuhan tried that for the second half of the game to see if they could come back from the 2-point deficit to overtake Innisdale. So we'll see how these teams choose to play it once the games get going here. Looks like both teams are just huddling. We'll get started shortly. You can see a lot of players wrapped up in blankets down at the field, just blocking the wind. You can see Ed Kung made the trek out here from Toronto, braving the cold as always. I think Ed's one of the mainstays at virtually every tournament in Ontario anyways, and most national tournaments as well when he travels. Send a thank you to Ed. I'm sure we'll get to see some great photos if we check out his Facebook page, and I'm sure he'll share them with Ultimate Canada. They'll get onto the website. Feel a little bad for Ed. You can see him bundled up in a parka there, winter jacket at this time of year. So we have Westwood in purple taking the line. Innisdale will be wearing blue, just finishing up their huddle there, getting some last minute instruction from the coach. Both teams did play on the same field here, the split field, so they're used to the wind direction. They've just went through a game. It's not like one of the teams was coming over from another field that had a crosswind versus downfield wind, so both teams well acclimated to the conditions here. As I said, strong programs. I'm expecting a high skill game, some good action. And I know just watching Innisdale here in front of me just before coming on the air, they were laying out quite frequently. Don't see that changing, so I'm sure we should get some good action, some good Ds here, full layout. As always, I have my Twitter account up and running. For those of you that like to comment, you can reach me at @aportwine. And there we go. I see Ultimate Canada's already mentioned that, so feel free to get some comments. I'm sure we must have some viewers this game, not so early in the morning. Although I do know that Max Power is down at Beach Nationals in the US, so that typically is a lot of our Twitter fodder for getting on the air. Innisdale making full use of the time here, leaving Westwood on the line in the chill. So Innisdale with the disc, getting ready to pull. Wind is blowing from left to right, so Innisdale is pulling into the wind. It's a little bit of a diagonal wind across the field. And we're off. Good pull. 10-15 yards past half field. Nice tight mark, a little disc space there. You can see the Westwood handler giving a little push with the disc. Innisdale coming out in his zone. Westwood looking downfield, just out of the reach of the receiver. You can tell it's a cold day. It looks like that receiver for Westwood may be wearing cargo pants. Probably came here with shorts, under the assumption we'd have some decent temperatures. Right now it's make do with whatever fabric you can find to cover up. Good give and go with the handlers there for Innisdale. Got the disc centered. Working the near sideline. Good patient play. These handlers are working well between each other. Big layout. Save that swing pass. Nice one-handed grab. Good no call there. The collision happened just after the catch. Innisdale working the disc nicely. Waiting for their chance at the end zone. They take it. Not complete. That looked like could have been a dangerous play. It looked like the receiver was just trying to drag his feet and ensure he stayed in play, but undercut the defender. No call either way. Slight limp. Looks like walked off even by the time he got to the front of the end zone. Start play. So Westwood looking deep. I think that was more of a high stall count. Let's get rid of it. Innisdale working well. Hammer for the point. That hammer would have been actually directly into the wind given the diagonal nature. Great control on that hammer. Innisdale hangs the first point on the board. We'll call that one an upwind point as well, so that could come back to haunt Westwood. So I need to give a shout out as well to someone affiliated with the Westwood team from Manitoba, Alex Weeb. Thank you for a little help last night with Ultimate Canada getting the Spirit scores tabulated correctly online. I understand you provide a little Excel help as you were checking out the scores on the live updates. Appreciate your efforts. Should be giving a shout out as well to our camera operator for the weekend, Sabrina. Up here freezing even though we're in a booth. Doing a fine job with the camera work. Pull sails out of play. Good block from the sideline there, save a little bit of retrieval time. Handler still has a little bit of a limp from the collision earlier in the end zone. Hopefully he's alright. Sure, it doesn't help the cold weather just to get the muscles loose and get up and moving. So Innisdale out with the zone, as expected, since Westwood is going upwind here. Good active zone with a big mark. They've chosen the strategy of putting a nice tall, wide wingspan mark on the disc. Throw through the cup, receiver just couldn't hang on to that, so turnover here around midfield. Innisdale, handlers again working the disc nicely. These two handlers, I'm sure they've played together even in their club season. Another hammer for the point. Maybe Innisdale is going to make this an all-hammer game. Two nothing. Now I feel like this would have been a perfect time to have Max Power tweeting. This seems like a Chris Lote specialty here. You know, fairly high winds. Let's throw the hammer for points. Having said that, Innisdale is controlling those throws very well. Just given the nature of the wind, you could see the Westwood defender left a big cushion, not expecting a throw coming back across the end zone to that side. Defender basically didn't even take a step to play defense. Throw was pinpoint. Excellent control. No fault to the Westwood players. I'm playing the wind, that's what you do. Leave the 5-yard, 7-yard buffer there, and the disc should be going to the far sideline. So Innisdale pulling into the wind. Another good pull. Well past half. See if Westwood can control the disc. Low throw. Looked like it almost stuck in the handler's grip a little longer than he expected. Nice control from the handlers here. Don't look like they're in any rush. Nice and calm. Westwood did a good job shutting down that upline cut. Handler just cut to the backfield, nice and patient. Big layout, well in play. Same spot they threw the hammer the last time. Low release on that throw, got that up into the wind. That just hung and allowed the defense to come over. You can see the receiver in the end zone in the cross field just pointing for the hammer. Westwood going downfield with the big throw. Do have a streaking receiver, 2 or 3 yards short. Nonetheless, got a full field's worth of distance out of that. Innisdale again, very calm with the disc. Opportunity to catch that downfield. Little contact, good spirit from the intended receiver to look back and make sure the defender was okay as he went down to the turf. So Innisdale again, zone here. Top of the zone, not moving as quickly as it needs to. The whole cup jogging, actually. Nice throw through the cup there. Great job from the handler. Got low and feathered it through. There, good give and go. Getting through the top of the cup. Another throw through. The top two on the cup need to tighten up a little bit there. There we go. Good quick movement. Westwood out on the break. So Innisdale's gone to man defense now. Smart call given the nature of the way Westwood was breaking downfield. high pass toward the receiver's face. Tough to catch those things when they're coming in fairly quick at eye level. Big layout, can't reel that in. Low toss on the swing pass. So Westwood knocking on the front of the end zone door here. Tipped off the receiver's hands and the wind just took that. So wind gusts currently are only in the 30-kilometer range, 30-35. Yesterday I believe we had gusts up to 50-55 range. This afternoon it's due to get back up again to around 55. Westwood with the high release to the end zone. Sails out the back of the end zone. Both teams have been doing a fairly good job having lower releases and good tight snap on their throws. That was maybe the first or only second one that's gotten away with the wind. So Westwood gifted some good field position here. And that throw again got a little up into the wind. It was a low release, but angled a little high. So Steph D, thanks for the tweet. I hope everything's working on the live stream now. I find if folks tune in a little bit before we're on the air, you have to refresh rather than just, click the live watch now button. You have to actually refresh the page to get it to load. So if you ever do tune in and we are due to be on the air, hit F5, refresh your full page rather than clicking watch live or watch now. So Innisdale takes a big chunk of yardage, deflected off the receiver's hands, wide open. I thought he was going to be able to make that catch. There is a call back receiver, but I think the continuation rule may be in effect. Yes. Going to continue playing that disc. So good defense by Innisdale there. So the handler very close on the cuts, not allowing for any space to swing that disc. There we go, secondary cut. These three handlers have been working very well together. Nice big upfield gain. About 15 yards on that, a little dish to the handler. And the return pass. Excellent work from Innisdale. Good fundamental play. Looks like we have a timeout call. Innisdale with the timeout. Now that they're getting close to the end zone. Going upwind, want to make sure to punch this in. Both teams playing a fairly clean game so far. Westwood having maybe a little more trouble getting around the mark and getting downfield. Maybe utilize the swing game just a little more. The last possession, they started moving that disc a little quicker and did get, three-quarter field break, so they're making the adjustment. I think both teams have been playing fairly well. teams starting to disperse from their huddles. Get the action back on the field. So Innisdale has the disc about 21 yards in front of the end zone. So a little space to work with here. Got a vertical stack set up in the middle of the field, one handler for support in the backfield. I'm assuming they're going to swing to that handler to try and center the disc to utilize the stack. See what they do here. Nope, going for the hammer right off the get-go. Complete. Good challenge from the defender. Just good read and taller offensive player. A little head spike there. So maybe a little diversion with the vertical stack in the middle of the field. Go straight to a hammer for the back of the stack. Just a straight cut back to the end zone. Maybe hung a little more than they wanted, but nonetheless, put the point on the board. So Innisdale doing well going upwind. 3 points, 3 hammers. So Innisdale, they're based out of Barrie, Ontario, just north of the GTA, the Toronto area here. Some good ultimate up there, both adult club and high school and junior ultimate. It's a pretty strong area for play overall. We have Westwood Warriors out of Winnipeg, Manitoba, and again, we all know Winnipeg just churns out the junior players. Very strong players coming out of many schools and many club programs there. Mofo, most notably. Winnipeg must be doing something right as well with their development, as they have not only great juniors but great university, strong adult programs, and a very big and strong masters scene out there as well. So getting these kids in young, it looks like they're staying in for life. So Innisdale with the pull. Little air bounce there, partway down. Got that past the brick mark. Westwood with a full backfield of handlers. Going to see if they can utilize a little more swing play and some shorter, safe passes. Cup a little slow forming to get over to the far sideline. Good hands. Catch that off the thighs after a little drop there. You can see the wind just drop that down. The receiver has an open person downfield, just can't quite get it deep enough throwing into the wind. Innisdale, no thought about it, pick it up. Looks like they're going maybe punt and pin strategy here. They did have a bigger receiver in the end zone, but I think that was more by chance. Just looking to pin Westwood on their goal line. So disc is in play. Turnover trying to go through the cup there. It looked like it was originally a three-person cup, which turned out to be 2 and a taxi. It was good denial on the dump. Swing pass just wasn't caught. So Innisdale on the goal line. Looking for options. Dump to the handler. Not a lot of options. 3 cuts all to the front cone at the same time. Looks like we have a call. Looks like a pick call. One of the Westwood players picked. Just getting the defender back in range. Offensive player back in range of the defender. Scuba. That tail's just out of play. Westwood runs up to the line. Foul called. Just a little foot clip there on the plant foot. Good one-handed grab, getting up high and making the catch. Floating disc downfield, just out of range of the receiver. Some discussion back at the goal line. Maybe a foul called. Looked like, from the arm gestures, it looks like the handler may have cleared out the defender, the mark, with the off arm. Not sure what the discussion is. It's going back in play. Double team called. There's been a lot of that this weekend, but Innisdale looked like they were maintaining distance there. Good run through D. The receiver had to wait. It was a fairly high throw. Defender ran through. Another good run through D there on Westwood, getting an arm in there. So Innisdale in a 3-player cup. Taller, big wingspan on the mark. Westwood does have a shorter team, so this could cause some problems for their handlers, just having that larger mark. There's a turnover on the dump pass into the end zone. So Innisdale right on the goal line. Let's see what they set up. Looks like they have a vertical stack, but it's offset. And a goal. It was well contested. The throw was quite late after the defender caught up, but good job from the offensive receiver to make sure that was her catch. So Innisdale with their first non-hammer point. 4-0 on the scoreboard. So Westwood still made Innisdale work. I think they had 3 possessions within the 5-yard line to punch that in. So Westwood working hard on defense, making Innisdale work even with good field position and the wind. Not giving up. Let's see if they can utilize the wind. Get a point on the board. Just the general conditions. 4 points is a pretty large spread to overcome. Coach having a good chat with them here. See if they go to the punt and pin strategy, or whether they try and actually play the disc, walk it upfield. Just given the way pulls are going, they're probably going to receive the disc close to half. You know, maybe just on their defensive side of half. See if they want to take that chance of walking upfield, or whether they play the punt and pin. The way Innisdale's been playing on the upwind points, may want to punt and pin just in case you turn it over and make Innisdale at least go the full field. Be unfortunate if there's a turnover, first 1 or 2 passes around half field. We did see Westwood on their last possession going upwind. They did have a full backfield, 3 handlers, and almost a 4th playing a short gain on the far sideline. So they were playing a safer game, looking to try and walk it upfield. Whereas even into the wind, Innisdale was, 2 handlers and looking for the chunk yardage, 10 and 15 yard vertical gains. So Westwood taking a line. Innisdale still chatting amongst themselves. It looks like they've got their 7 they want on the line having a talk, as opposed to the full huddle, full team. Westwood taking a different approach. They had the full team huddle, getting some instruction for everybody. So at @Portwine if you'd like to tweet in. I'm sure there's got to be some folks in Manitoba watching. Offer some support for their team. If you're in Ontario, you're probably indoors in a nice, comfortable, warm house watching this. Definitely don't want to be outside. So Westwood receives the disc 10 yards past half. Innisdale with a tall mark in the cup. Westwood utilizing all their handlers, looking for the swing passes. They're going to try and walk it up the field. An unfortunate drop there. Open throw. So Innisdale has a couple of new handlers on. There's a hammer over the middle that gets D'd. A couple of different handlers posed from the previous upwind points. There's a nice upfield gain through the cup for Westwood. Reset. Nice swing, moving it quickly. Good quick release up through the middle. Those are the types of throws they're going to need to continue with. Make sure they stay in this game. You can see the Westwood handlers utilizing a fake. Both disc fakes and shoulder fakes, just trying to get that cup to show just a little bit of split so they can throw through. Nice quick release there, no fake as I'm talking about it, but the nice quick release before the cup can even react. There's some good disc movement, starting to use angles, getting through the cup. Nice safe catch and a throw from the knees to keep that disc moving. High release, dangerous throw. They had good controlled movement. Receiver did get a hand on that. It could have been caught, but that high release is too dangerous today after using the short, more direct passes through the cup that they had used to walk that up the field. So Westwood gets the disc back after Innisville tried a big gainer up the sideline. Here's a deep throw. If that can stay in play, there's a chance. Receiver got a hand on it right on the sideline. Would have been tough to catch that and keep feet in. It's a good effort even getting a hand on that one. High throw, floating out of play. So a swing pass to center the disc, another hammer. Falls incomplete. So Westwood centers the disc. Couple of yard gain. Swing to the sideline, good movement of the disc here. It looks like they've got their players on the same page. That last chat from the coach. Nice grab on the upline cut. Westwood gets their first point of the day. Much better controlled play. Good, quick, short passes. So whatever the coach said in that last huddle got through to the players. Much better spacing overall from the team. Innisdale trying a few hammers there in the field of play as opposed to just the final throw to get it into the end zone. Notice it's a left-handed handler. He's releasing the hammer with the near arm to where the mark is. The mark was on his left shoulder and he's throwing a left-handed hammer, so that could have something to do with why they were tailing away incomplete. Previously, right-handed hammers were being thrown into the end zone with the mark on the left shoulder. Gives you a little more space, a little more confidence on your follow-through. So just talking about the Manitoba teams, just took a quick look at the bracket this morning. there's a possibility, if all goes well, it could be an all-Manitoba final. I'm sure the Ontario teams will have something to say about that. But there is the potential there for the all-Manitoba final. So Innisdale picks it up and goes straight for the end zone. Punt and pin strategy. Receiver got a hand on that at the goal line. Just couldn't squeeze it. That was good timing. As much as it's a punt and pin, that was still a viable attempt at goal. So well done. You see a lot of teams, they'll pick it up and punt with no receivers down there just for the field distance. So well done from Innisdale to actually make that a viable attempt at goal while gaining complete yardage, field yardage. So let's see if Westwood can control the disc, methodically walk it up into the wind as they did last possession going downwind. Good short passes going through the cup. There we go. Nice swing over to the ladies working the far sideline. Gonna just take a guess that was a stall down call. Some discussion going on. I think the handler's claiming a foul. I think the defender may have thought it was a stall down. It's the one penalty being in the press box with the windows closed to stay warm. You don't get to hear some of the calls. But on the plus side, we get a nice elevated view that you're seeing now, so makes it a little easier to see the game and call the game. Another call here. Not sure if it wasn't tapped in. Defense wasn't ready. It looked like an uncontested dump. There we go. That's a little more what I'd expect. A layout D on a stall 9 reset. So Westwood. It was a nice throw through the cup, just couldn't reel in the low throw, knee height. You can see Westwood was trying the short game and playing the same style, so maybe they had a little change in their system from the first points of the game. Innisdale. Open side. That was a little too easy from the D back in the stack. Open side. Backhand for the point. So 5-1. So Calvin from Winnipeg, I know he's one of the instrumental guys keeping Masters program going out there, appreciating the commentary for the Manitoba teams. Just like to say, it's nice to have the Manitoba teams travel out here, and we have a team from Quebec as well. It's nice to get a little diversity from our provincial representatives that we can actually put on the live streams. I'm sure everybody from coast to coast appreciates seeing other teams from coast to coast. You know, in juniors particularly, we have a lot of Manitoba teams out here. I want to say 3 or 4. You know, I had the opportunity to do commentary for the Fours Indoor Championships, and Nova Scotia sent a great contingent of teams out, so we had the opportunity to see some East Coast players. And of course, typically with the Grass Ultimate Championships, we get to see players from every province, coast to coast. So Innisdale with the pull. Negative roll for them, gets back on their side of half. Wind helping Westwood out a little bit there. Nice catch on the low throw. Good job getting the hand down under the disc. That cup is really tight. Westwood would be well served to make sure they call double teams here from the looks of it. Nice upfield cut. Upfield catch. Gain 6-7 yards. A little give and go right back through the cup. Try it again. Good D. Cup is alert there. Not just running where they expect the disc to go, actually looking at the swing. So Innisdale starting at around half field. Good control from the offensive player. Looks like we have a call. Unfortunate for the Innisdale defender who used his face to make that block. In the end, they get the turnover anyway. Good hard-nosed play. These windy days, you're bound to have a little air bounce, or one or two players get something in the face when they're not expecting. So another quick turn. There's the left-handed hammer. Excellent chase down grab. Just a matter of in play or not. Great effort from the receiver, whether he's in or not. Great effort to make the catch on the tail end of that disc. So it looks like it's maybe coming back to the handler. No agreement on whether it was in play or not. So it's coming in play exactly at center field. There's another hammer. Again, just given the way the wind's blowing, the left-handed hammers are going to get hung up. Right-handed at least have a chance to cut slightly into the wind. So Westwood with the disc, looking downfield, good flat throw, wide open receiver. Couldn't quite make the read, overshot him. So Innisdale walking up to the front of the end zone. Big wide spacing in that cup. Good alert D from the midfield player downfield. So Westwood with an opportunity to get a point on the board here. Nice swing out to the sideline. Bullet to the end zone again. Eye height makes for tough catches. Touch more love on that disc and there's a point on the board. So that's a little better option from the handler that time, even looking downfield, going for the backhand, cutting it into the wind rather than the left-handed hammers that get caught up. Bullet throw through the cup. There's the left-handed punt. Falls to the ground. I think I saw a little push in the back from the Innisdale offensive player, so it's probably justified that that fell incomplete, or probably would have been called a foul anyway. So big upfield gain for Westwood. I think there might have been a little tip on that swing pass, but not enough to make the D. Excellent run through D. Receiver truncated his route by about 2 yards. If he had kept running through, would have made that catch. Just allowed the window of opportunity for the defender to punch through. So another hammer attempted, resulting in turnover. So Westwood utilizing their ladies in the midfield, making some great cuts, getting open 7, 8, 10-yard gains. Here's another opportunity, really low throw and a bullet. That's just difficult to ask of any receiver. Excellent layout to get that swing pass that was tipped. Nice downfield pass. Again, a good flat release that had an opportunity. Just sailed over the receiver's head. Both teams look like they're content to go for the big downfield plays. Wind is going still slightly in favor of Westwood right now. It's a diagonal wind, but Westwood has been doing a much better job recently getting the downfield throws to be flat, catchable. Tried the hammer over the middle there. You can see the receiver just gave up on that. Couldn't read where it was going. So the disc ends up rolling out the far side of the end zone. Will say, given the wind this weekend, the sidelines have been very good in chasing down the discs and bringing them back to the on-field players to try and save a little bit of time. Innisdale there chasing it down to bring it back to Westwood to initiate play, so some good spirit as well. Looks like a little contact in the backfield. Nope, no call, so play on. It's good. So Westwood with the disc. Handler looking for a dump. Yeah, looks like the mark maybe got a little tap on the hand or wrist there on her fake. Great job faking the disc to make sure she can get that pivot and dump. Streaker for the end zone. Another good flat throw. Throw landed just on the end line, so definitely had the opportunity to be caught, but again, that's sailing downfield. That's a tough ask of the receivers. That'll come with just more playing time as these players get more years under their belt. They'll start to read the disc a little better. There's the hammer. Easy D for the Westwood player in the middle of the Innisdale pack there. Again, ladies making those cuts in the middle of the field, wide open, just dominating the open midfield play. Good D in the end zone from Innisdale. Good quick transition, gain 15 yards, catch that turnover and go right back to play. So Innisdale again with the quick punt, got it up to around half field. Another overshot, disc rolling well out of play. Be better off getting a sideline disc. That one's well out of play. So while I have a moment, this game has approximately 30 minutes left. It goes until 11:50 is the time cap. So still lots of time to make up 4 points, but as you can see, the points are fairly lengthy. So if Westwood is going to close this gap in the next 30 minutes, now's the time to get one on the board. So that throw from Innisdale didn't stay in play too long, so I think Westwood will get some good field position here. Looks like they're coming in 20 yards from the end zone. Bullet passed through the middle. Was open again, just difficult to catch. You can see the Westwood handlers now with all these Westwood defenders with all these hammers. They're playing a mark straight up, arms high, just taking away that hammer punt. So I guess they're going to test Innisdale and see if they have the waist high release, whether it be forehand or backhand, if they're going to punt this. So another open cut in the midfield. There it is again. Great eyes from that receiver. There wasn't even a cut on that. It was a static pack in the middle of the field. A swing pass, a little high. So Cup is a little close here. The mark is backing off. There we go. Cup is now established with Scuba on the swing pass. Tails off and falls to the turf. So Westwood walking to the disc. They've got their stack set up in the end zone, slightly offset. Excellent German for the point. The defender at the front of the stack had their back to the handler. Nice and easy for the quality of handler that they have out there on Westwood. I don't think that young man's going to miss that throw too many times. He's already shown in the wind he's very consistent, steady handler. So 5-2 Innisdale. So where Westwood's really going to have to lock down on D. Innisdale has the big throws, they've shown that, and then now they've got a little bit of wind with them. If you recall, last time they were going downwind, they almost completed their first pass for a full field point, just out of the receiver's reach by about an inch. So they don't mind playing that long game. They have some good athletes to track down those throws. Westwood, see if they're going to play a zone or a man here given the wind situation. If they're going to play zone, I would suggest leaving too deep. Sacrifice one of your Cup. Good pull. Gets that over half, and Innisdale again going straight for the end zone and a point. That was a nice toss. Actually cut it back into the wind for the receiver to make that grab. The receiver just got stuffed by the goalpost trying to have the slam dunk celebration. So Innisdale not wasting any time. That was a 15 or 20 second point. Having said that, Westwood did have two defenders back there. It was just a good throw and a great line to the disc by the receiver. So Westwood did have two defenders back there, challenged the receiver to make a good catch. So Westwood again with the wind. Let's see if they go slow play, methodical short passes, and good steady handles like they have the last couple of possessions. Looks like there's some discussion on the sideline. They had it while they were walking to the line. I thought it might have been going for ladies, but I think it might be over the scoreboard primarily. So we've got that ironed out. Innisdale taking the line now. I think there might have been a question. I think Innisdale may have wanted to play four ladies. Seventh player, the fourth guy, was a little bit slow out to the line, so might have been some question whether he was playing or not. Heads up, Ed, you might get a disc there. So the pull goes out of play. Still over half, good distance on that pull. So handler walking the disc back to center field here. And it's in play. Innisdale playing a cup. Again with the big mark on there. Handlers have struggled a little bit with that bigger mark. Excellent fakes. Good bullet pass through the cup. Good hands on the receiver to reel that in with a defender all over him. Looking downfield. Nice easy swing to the middle. And there's a shin block for the top of the cup. It's a good D, especially on these colder, windy days. That takes some fortitude to stand in there when the top of the cup is essentially target practice for the handlers trying to put bullets through the cup. And you have wind like this, you never know if the disc is going to dip or float and, you know, hit you in the forehead or hit you in the nose. So, big layout, turf jars that loose. Receiver even used the two-hand safety method. And as I say that, the one-handed grab fails the receiver, who is downfield, fairly open. Innisdale with a big gainer on that. Good read from the receiver to play that over to the sideline. There's the right-handed crossfield hammer. Cuts into the wind a lot better than those lefties. You can see that one. Wind didn't affect as much. Definitely had a chance to be caught. There's a high release, again to a wide open lady in the middle of the field. Good one-handed stab on the swing pass. Nice patient swing. It was probably a good choice to look off the receiver in the end zone that was making the run. Play safe, short. Throws have been sailing out the back of the end zone in this direction of play. So a good quick release, but it sailed out the sideline there. That throw is exactly the direction the wind is going. You can see it got a little loft, a little wind under the disc. So Innisdale, you can see the handler taking the step back to get the big step into his throw. Unfortunately, just a low release that popped up. Throw is a little short of half. Westwood patiently looking around. Nice easy swing. It's a good cut from the handler. Nice and patient with the disc. These two guys working it well. Content if they have to dump and lose a few yards. Another bullet through the middle to an open cut. So Innisdale with the big punt, gained a lot of yards on that one. Nice low flat throw that cut into the wind. Nice tip by the mark, still able to get that complete for the receiver. Dicey pass up through the middle there. Nice low release backhand. You can see the handler put extra torque on his wrist there to make sure to get that snap, keep that disc going where he wanted it. Westwood now breaking through the defense, starting to work it upfield. Receiver waited a lot of time and allowed the cup to catch up. There's a hand block. These ladies in the cup for Innisdale doing very well, getting a lot of Ds. Great read. Haul that disc in. So Innisdale with some field space to work with here. Throwing that at least to the goal line, getting some yardage. Westwood returning the favor on a punt. And that's going to roll, so they effectively are going to get the full field's distance out of that. Not a bad strategy. Innisdale has been having more trouble with the wind in recent possessions. At the start of the game, they were cutting through that wind pretty easily. So disc falls incomplete on the sideline. Innisdale getting a little bit of breathing room from the end zone there. Nice open cut in the middle. Westwood has a chance here to punch one in. Wide open swing. No options for the handler. He has to hold it 5 seconds just. And 2 cutters through the first set of hands, caught by the laying out second cutter. So Westwood closes that gap to 3 points. 6-3 now. Now the trick is going to be, can they keep Innisdale off the scoreboard? You recall Innisdale going downwind had about a 20-second point last time. Westwood worked hard. They've closed the gap here. Time is getting down to around 15 minutes, if I'm not mistaken, in the game. So really they need to hope for a quick Innisdale turnover, and Westwood needs to march it upwind and punch it into the end zone. Give himself some hope here. So the winner of this game will be playing the winner of St. John's Ravenscourt out of Manitoba and the Kelvin Clippers out of Manitoba. So they are playing not within my view right now, so I can't give an update on that score. But we will have the Manitoba team coming out of that semi-final regardless. So Innisdale here is the lone non-Manitoba hope to get into the finals. Having said that, Westwood has a chance here to make it an all-Manitoba final if they can pull this game out. So as we get closer to the end of the game, I'll see if I can get some results. With the wind, we don't even have scoreboards up, so I can't even see the game in the background there to try and get a score update for the viewers. So Innisdale, Scuba off the initial pass. Not going for the big play right away, and a Scuba to center the disc. Nice quick dump. Give and go here. Handler's doing well. Big layout, just missed that D. Innisdale makes quick work of that one as well. Vastly different style from their previous points. Going downwind. That one, a little more controlled play, some give and go with the handlers as opposed to the big one pass full field point. So Innisdale, 7-3. Westwood in tough now. Shouldn't hang their heads though. They've made it to the Final Four. They've played a great tournament thus far. I've had the opportunity to watch 2 or 3 of their games. Been very impressed with their play. No matter what happens the rest of the tournament, they can go back to Manitoba, heads held high, proud of their accomplishments here, championships. Even just in this game, we've seen them start the game with what looked like one style of play or a system the coach wanted to try. And you can see they had changed it and started playing a shorter game and the quick passes through the cup, and it's been much better for them the second half. So they're obviously a fairly skilled team, and they've adjusted to not only their opponent, but the conditions here as well. So halftime, both teams taking an opportunity to talk with their coaches, get a little instruction. Again, Westwood would be well served to make it a shorter halftime if they can take a line and maybe get Innisdale out of their huddle a touch quicker. So the field we're sharing currently has Bowmanville High out of Bowmanville, Ontario, playing against Marshall McLuhan Rebels, and they're out of Toronto. Again, I can't quite see the scoreboard, but been trying to keep an eye on that. It looks like a fairly balanced game over there. Bowmanville typically playing the bigger huck style and more vertical game. Marshall, they adjusted to both styles, but they typically play a little more controlled game, a little more fundamental handler play. So that would have been a game similar to the one we're watching now, the way it's playing out, just in terms of style of play. So Bowmanville and Marshall on the adjacent field are playing in the 5th place bracket, so if they win this, they'll move up to play for 5th place, the winner of that game. Marshall, I think, was a bit of a dark horse coming in, so I'm sure they're pleased with their results being in the upper half of the bracket. Of course, they'd like to take 5th, get as high as they can. Bowmanville, I think, had their eyes on being in the final, so I think they may be a little disappointed with their results. But if they can walk through and take a 5th place, that's still a fairly good accomplishment for the team. So the game at hand, both teams still in their huddle. Get a few players out, getting a few extra touches in there. Some bench players, it looks like, for Innisdale. Maybe injured and not able to play. So Innisdale breaks huddle. No doubt some of these players just want to get out, get the blood pumping, and move their body just to generate some body heat. Westwood, coach has the full huddle's attention. He's got the clipboard and the whiteboard and the marker out, so clearly going over a bit more of his game plan and strategy. Must say I appreciate that from the Westwood coaches. Taking the extra time, probably the time they need for the comeback. I don't want to say they're out of it yet, but probably the valuable time they need to make a legitimate comeback attempt in the game. But he's diagramming plays and explaining concepts to his huddle and going through with the whiteboard and drawing. That'll benefit these players a lot more in the future than an extra few minutes of play here or even a comeback win. Yes, it'll feel nice if they can come back and win, but getting some of that education from an experienced coach pay off down the road. So we have a little bit more Manitoba support coming in for Westwood. We have Scott just sending a tweet saying he's appreciating the opportunity to be able to watch Westwood, so glad you're able to tune in. I'm just going to take a wild stab and just say that one of his children, Andrew I believe it is, playing for Westwood. So that's great. I'm glad parents have an opportunity to see some of their kids play if they can't make the trek, a couple province over. So Westwood with a good pull. Innisdale going big right away. You could see the handler winding up for that. Hanging disc. Not quite able to complete that thing. Defender right on the hip, so It's a good job even from the Innisdale player just to leave that disc in play and give his receiver a chance. So often we see that sail out the back of the end zone. So Westwood on the offense here. We have a taxi in the end zone and a two-man trap on the line, so got the turnover they wanted. Innisdale playing some good zone there. So 2 yards in front of the end zone line for Innisdale. Vertical stack with an empty backfield. Little slash cut. Not able to complete that pass. So Westwood right on the cone to initiate play here. No options. All the cuts are so close. Little 2-foot gain into the cup resets the stall count at least. We have multiple offensive players in a short distance around the handler. Lofts it upfield. Got some good distance, and let me tell you, the mark, the trap line mark, got her hand in there and got a piece of that disc. I guarantee that hurt her fingertips, but again, not afraid. These ladies for Innisdale in the top of the cup, sticking their arms and legs in for the D's. There's a big punt from Westwood. So Innisdale swings it to center the disc. Nice high release over the cup. Nice gain. These two handlers working it well together. Going for the end zone. Good footwork from the receiver. He was checking that line before he made sure the disc was coming in. Good job towing the line and keeping his wits about him to ensure he would watch that disc right into his hands. 8-3 for Innisdale. So Westwood again making Innisdale work. They played good D. Unfortunately on their offense it looked like they were just crowding the handler a bit too much. And credit Innisdale, they put a nice trap on the line a couple of times there, forcing Westwood into some turnovers. So Westwood on the line. Innisdale having a little chat amongst the 7 on the field. And a late substitution here. So they got their full 7 on the line. There's the pull. Probably get a good roll out of this as well. And just as that pull goes up, I see a hint of sunshine here, so maybe we're in for a little better conditions for some of our games we're going to bring you later this afternoon. We'll have a game at 1 o'clock and a game at 2:30, so that's the bronze medal game at 1 o'clock. 2:30 we'll have the gold medal game. So Westwood moving the disc around here, nice quick movement, excellent layout D in the midfield. It's a tall player. He used every inch of his frame to get out there and stretch for that hand block. You can see Westwood, they have the mark on with again, straight up, arms high, taking away that hammer punt. So Westwood going downfield for the big play, just out of the receiver's hands. Again, good job from the handler, kept it inbounds, gave his receiver a chance at least. Let's see if Westwood can keep up their defensive pressure. Innisdale is going to be right on the cone, right at the sideline and front line of the end zone. So straight up mark. There's a easy turn. Westwood just overshoots the receiver. Again, a little air under that disc, and it air bounced over the receiver. So Westwood, their defensive pressure, they're getting the turnovers they want, as much as Innisdale is looking to punt and just get out of their end zone shadow, but Westwood has the opportunity here. We'll see if they can get their offense on track. So this will be the last point, I believe. See the game on the field next to us is done. Must have missed the horn. So Westwood looking for some options. Big full field swing. Nice pass from the handler. Just squirts through the hands of the receiver. I think he actually started to look upfield before securing that in his hands. A crossfield scoober from the handler. Nice interception from the Westwood player. Going downfield. Great one-handed grab on the run. See whether he's in bounds or not. At this point, I think just call him in play. It's not going to affect the score, and the time cap is done, I believe. Yep, they're calling him in play, so that's a good goal. So Westwood finishes on a high note, some good defensive pressure in the end, and gets the final goal of the game. Played a great second half once they adjusted a little bit to the wind and changed their strategy. Played a little more short game and handler heavy offense. Well done to Westwood. So Innisdale wins 8-4. We will see them later in the day. Unsure who they're playing at this time, but be sure to tune in 1 o'clock for the bronze medal game, 2:30 for the gold medal game. We'll hope to see you then, and we'll have Innisdale later on in the day. So my name's Andrew Portwine. I just want to thank you again for joining the Ultimate Canada live stream, and we will see you at 1 p.m. for our next game.